Hi Annie and Nuli, this is your lesson 1 fossil formation from your unit 7. Okay, fossils are very interesting to find and study. Fossils are the hardened remains, meaning something that's left, of a plant or an animal that lived long ago. Hardened means that something is hard like a rock instead of the opposite, something soft like a pillow. Fossils can also be an imprint, meaning the mark that something else left, of a once living plant or animal. Some fossils are leaves, woods, shells, and skeletons of plants or animals that were buried a really long time ago. Some scientists believe during the time of the Great Flood of Noah. Others are tracks, meaning the marks that the paw of an animal makes on the ground, left by moving animals. Fossils, even if you believe it or not, are really common and easy to find, and they're everywhere on Earth. For your vocabulary, we're going to study some words. Dissolved means to mix and become part of a liquid, like the experiment that we made last year about sugar dissolving in water to make lemonade. Then we have the word imprint. Imprint means a mark that is made by pressure. For example, if you get some Play-Doh and you flatten it and then you put a toy and you press it, when you lift the toy, you would see an imprint on the Play-Doh, right? Then mineral. Mineral is an element or chemical substance obtained from the ground. And we have the word sediment. Sediment is the material that settles to the bottom in a liquid. Different types of rock and mineral particles that settle to the bottom of water. I think of this example, if you have ever played with mud and water in the garden, and if you have a paddle and you leave it there, at the end of the day, there's going to be little pieces of dirt, soil, rocks at the bottom, and then the top part is going to be clear water. Or if your mom ever made you hot chocolate, or if you see your parents drinking coffee, you can see that when they finish it, at the bottom of the cup, you find a little bit of like this dust that it's made of the hot chocolate, cocoa, or the coffee. That would be a sediment. Okay, so we have different types of fossils. We have fossils that are plants and some that are animals, and even we have human fossils. Some are just the imprint, and some are the real part, and some are like cast, but I'm going to explain that in a little bit. You can classify the fossils by 4 types: print fossils, original remains fossil, petrified fossils, and carbonized fossils. Today we're going to talk about just one type, print fossils. This is a really common type. They are the impressions of a plant or animal that lived long ago. The actual remain, the actual plant or animal, it's not there. Only an impression, like what we were talking about on the Play-Doh. They can be categorized as either mold fossils or cast fossils. Okay? A mold fossil was formed when a living thing was covered with sediment and died. Later, the sediment became hard like rock. The plant or animal with the sediment decayed. It died and it started rotting, and then it dissolved, disappeared. Because the plant or animal no longer existed, a hollow area, un hueco, in the hardened sediment remained. There was a hole. The outer shape or impression of the living thing was there. It looks like a mold of the original plant or animal. And they are usually shells, bones, or wood. Skin, leaves, and soft plants or animal are not usually found as mold fossils because they are really soft and delicate, and then they wouldn't leave a mark. They don't have enough weight. Okay, so what's more common for this type of fossils, cast fossils, would be bones, shells, and wood. And there's another type of print fossil, which is a cast fossil. It forms after a mold fossil is made, the one that I was talking about, that's something, for example, a shell, like from the ocean, a shell, falls somewhere and then sediment covers it, and the weight of the sediment pressing the shell against the ground leaves a mark, and then the shell decays, dissolves, and it leaves a hole, right? But after that, groundwater containing dissolved minerals drains through the rock and the sediment and fills that mold, that real little hole, it fills it. And those minerals or particles fill it up and make kind of like a copy, a cast of the original plant and animal. So you have something that looks really similar to that animal or plant or shell, but it's not it. It's like a copy, kind of like a